The biting winter air of Ottawa has a way of preserving memories, freezing them in time so that a decade can feel like yesterday. It's been 10 years since my world shattered. 10 years since the love of my life, the woman I was convinced I would marry, walked out of our shared apartment, leaving behind nothing but a ghost of a life we had so meticulously built. Her name was Isabel, and to this day her name is a bittersweet symphony on my tongue, a melody of a love so profound it almost feels like a dream. We met in the most Canadian of ways, at a Tim Hortons on a frigid January morning. I was fumbling with my change, a clumsy mess of a university student, and she was behind me in line, her laughter a warm beacon in the cold. It wasn't just a laugh, it was a sound that seemed to carry its own light. She paid for my coffee, a simple act of kindness that sparked a conversation that lasted for hours, huddled at a small table while the snow fell outside. We talked about everything and nothing, our shared love for the outdoors, our dreams of traveling the world, and our mutual disdain for the city's brutally cold winters. It was instant, a connection so deep it felt like we had known each other for a lifetime. Her eyes, the color of warm honey, held a genuine curiosity that made me feel like the most interesting person in the world. Our relationship was a whirlwind romance, a series of adventures set against the backdrop of Canada's capital. We explored the city hand in hand, from the historic Byward Market, where we'd buy fresh flowers and maple cookies, to the serene trails of Gatineau Park. I remember one summer afternoon, we got caught in a sudden downpour while cycling along the Rideau Canal. Instead of rushing for cover, she pulled me off the path, and we danced, drenched and laughing, with the canal on one side and the stately homes of the glebe on the other. Our life was a picturesque postcard, a testament to a love so pure and untainted. Our winters were spent skating on the frozen waterway, my clumsy skating a constant source of amusement for her. She'd glide effortlessly, her red scarf a streak of color against the white landscape, always turning back to pull me along. We were inseparable, our lives intertwined in a beautiful tapestry of shared dreams and aspirations. We moved in together, our small apartment on Laurier Avenue becoming a sanctuary of love and laughter. It was filled with mismatched furniture from thrift stores and her vibrant abstract paintings that I thought were masterpieces. We adopted a golden retriever, a furry bundle of joy we named Maple, after a spirited debate that ended with a coin toss. We were a family, a perfect trio against the world. I was convinced I had found my soulmate, my forever and always. I had a ring picked out, a beautiful vintage piece, with a small perfect sapphire that matched the flecks in her eyes. It was tucked away in my sock drawer, waiting for the right moment, a planned trip to Mont Tremblant that never came. The cracks started to appear subtly, almost imperceptibly. It began with her phone. It was suddenly always face down or angled away from me. Then came the late nights at the office, explained away by a demanding project at the burgeoning tech startup where she worked. A missed call here, a canceled date there. I brushed them off, wanting to be the supportive boyfriend. I planned a surprise weekend getaway for her birthday, a cabin in the woods we'd always talked about. When I told her, the excitement I expected was replaced by a flicker of panic in her eyes. She said she had to work a last-minute deadline. I remember the hollow feeling in my chest as I canceled the reservation, telling myself I was being paranoid. But the seed of doubt had been planted, a tiny poisonous thing that started to grow in the dark corners of my mind. The day she left is a blur of pain and confusion. It was a Tuesday, a day that started like any other. I woke up to an empty bed, a note on the nightstand a silent harbinger of the storm that was about to break. She had gone to a friend's place. The note said a lie so blatant it was a slap in the face. The truth came later that evening. She walked in as I was making dinner, the air thick with an unspoken tension. I asked her where she'd been, and the carefully constructed walls she'd built around her secret finally crumbled. She had been seeing someone else, a colleague from work. The words tumbled out of her mouth, a torrent of betrayal and deceit that left me breathless. It just happened, she whispered, a cliché that felt like a physical blow. I remember the silence that followed, a silence so profound it was deafening. The ticking of the clock on the wall was the only sound, each tick a hammer blow to my shattered heart. I looked at her, at the woman I had loved with every fiber of my being, and saw a stranger. The warmth in her eyes was gone, replaced by a cold emptiness that mirrored the void in my soul. I asked her how long. A few months, she admitted, her gaze fixed on the floor. A few months while I was picking out an engagement ring, she was in the arms of another man. The thought was a white-hot poker in my gut. The breakup was a messy affair, a tangle of tears and recriminations. I begged, I pleaded, I offered to forgive, to forget, to do whatever it took to salvage our love. We can fix this, Izzy. I remember saying, my voice cracking. Whatever it is, we can fix it. But her heart was no longer mine to claim. She was in love with someone else, and there was nothing I could do to change that. The finality of her words, I don't love you anymore, James, was a death knell to our shared future, a future I had so naively believed was set in stone. The days that followed were a living hell. The apartment, once our haven, became a torture chamber. Every corner was a reminder of her, a ghost of a memory that haunted my every waking moment. The scent of her jasmine-scented shampoo lingered on her pillow, a cruel taunt of what I had lost. Maple would whine at the door, her tail thumping hopefully every time the elevator chimed in the hallway, waiting for a master who would never return. I was a shell of a man, a walking wound of a broken heart. Friends would call, but I'd let the phone ring, unable to articulate the depth of my despair. I tried to lose myself in work, in the gym, in anything that would numb the pain. But the memories were relentless, a constant barrage of what we once had. I would see a couple holding hands, and my heart would ache with a longing so intense it was a physical pain. I would hear a song we used to love on the radio, and have to pull over, overwhelmed by a grief so powerful it felt like I was drowning. Ottawa, the city that had once been our playground, became a prison of memories. Every street, every park, every coffee shop was a reminder of her. I couldn't walk past the National Gallery without remembering the day we spent there, her hand in mine. I couldn't go to the Byward Market without seeing her ghost at every stall. I had to leave, to escape the city that was a constant testament to my failed love story. I packed up my life, gave Maple to my parents in the countryside, where she'd have room to run, and moved to Toronto, hoping that a change of scenery would help me heal, would help me forget. 10 years have passed since that fateful day. I have a new life now, a new city, a new job. I've dated, I've loved, I've even had my heart broken again, though never with such devastating force. But nothing has ever come close to the love I had for Isabel. She was my once-in-a-lifetime, my forever and always. I still think about her from time to time, especially on cold winter mornings, when the air is crisp and the world is quiet. I wonder if she's happy, if she married him, if she ever thinks of me, if she ever regrets the choice she made. I'll never know, and perhaps it's for the best. Some questions are better left unanswered, some wounds better left untouched. But I will never forget the girl who taught me how to love, the girl who showed me the beauty of a shared life, the girl who broke my heart into a million pieces. She will forever be a part of me, a ghost of a memory that I will carry with me until my dying day. And in a strange way, I'm grateful for the pain, for the heartbreak, for the love that almost was. It taught me that it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. It carved a depth in me I didn't know I could possess, and for that, I will be forever grateful to the girl I met at a Tim Hortons on a frigid January morning in Ottawa, the girl who stole my heart and never gave